Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you America's top foundational health coach, Dr. Joe D.
Hey there, I'm Dr. Jody Baer, known as America's top foundational health coach, holistic nutritionist, health practitioner. But today, I am the host of Life's Milkshake Moment. It is my delight and honor to bring you yet another jam-packed blockbuster feature for this, our second Happy New Year. We are going to thrive in 2025, and we're going to do it how? Through all 6 pillars of health: spiritual, then we go to mental, emotional, physical, social, and financial. I can say Princess Meradian is the total 6-pillar package. You've heard of 6-pack abs. So she's a 6-pillar package, and you'll hear about this in just a moment. For those that don't know me, this was the day, January 16th, that I retired 5 years ago. I left my practice of 42 years, closed up shop, signed an NDA, and said, I'm done with this chapter of my life. Never underestimate the power of the creator of all coming into your life to create a chapter that you didn't even think about. I loved being in that brick and mortar, helping people lose that toxic fat, over 1 million pounds of toxic fat lost with only a 5% recidivism rate. Then COVID hit. What was I going to do? My husband looked at me and he said, what are you doing? I said, I'm retired. He said, no, there's more in you. You see, today or tonight or in the morning, wherever you're at, if you're watching it tomorrow on Healthopedia 365, you will know that there's always more to give. You will know that as far as I'm concerned, that we have more to give. And the idea is giving and giving and giving. Then my husband looked at me and he said, after I said, well, I don't have a website. I don't even do email much. I don't know how to market. I don't know how to advertise. And I kept going on with the list. And he said, do you have a heart? Do you have a passion for people? I said, of course I have forever, sweetheart. And he said, I've read the book too, Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. When you get to 57, there's not the 58th excuse or alibi, as he calls it. Just how much yoga are you going to do? You see, when you have your heart straight and really in that spiritual pillar, then you come to that mental acuity. You know that you have a skill set. Emotionally, you're strong and secure, that you're not held captive, as Helen Keller says, to your emotions. Then you go physically strong and you have a financially fit place, then socially you can give to the world. That's how the 6 pillars of health go. I knew nothing except my husband said, the people right now, when COVID was just hitting, need you. So I dove in. I didn't know anything about it, and here we are. We are now broadcasting our 400th show here on Traverse TV today with none other than Her Royal Highness, Princess Dr. Meradian Ogallala. She is one of a kind, as we all are, but she just epitomizes, as you can hear us singing with Alicia Williamson, there is hope to heal, to go down into yourself, to heal first. Go up in optimism to your true north. Come in and be the law of attraction and positivity, and then go out, empowerment to heal the world, starting with yourself, taking care of you and your world first, but then empowering us forever. That's what Princess Meradian has done. You saw her in the essence of a woman. She was an amazing in our book that has now reached another pinnacle in C-Suite / Wall Street Journal, #3 on the bestseller list. Just happened. It will just keep coming and coming because, as Princess Maradian says, and she's the last woman in the book, remember, scan the QR code, buy the book, feed a child for a month. Because when you give away, things will absolutely be amazing. When you give away, then you have more in store. That's what we are doing here at Healthopedia, that we give so much of our health. If we have our health, as we say, we have our wealth, we have everything. So what Princess Maradian, as she was just gracing us the last time in October, being our keynote for The Essence of a Woman, our 3-day virtual live event here on Traverse TV and on social media, not only on our YouTube channel, but many, many other places. Just like, subscribe, and share. And by the way, when you're at it, just go ahead. As I've said, thanks for being a part of our sponsor patrons. Why is this important? Just like it takes money to run a campaign like the DNC and the RNC, as we're getting ready to watch the change of power for our president here on Monday. It takes money for sponsors. And so if you get content and you like what you hear for the 400 episodes that are all categorized back on our YouTube channel and also on Traverse TV in all 6 pillars. We really didn't know where to put the princess because she belonged in all 6, but we're going to put her in the social pillar, just like she is in our book. But go ahead, make a donation, make a monthly contribution by using your Venmo, Cash App. It's $Bear Money. It's at Jody-Bear or at Health Coach Jody. Thanks in advance for being a part of what we're doing on our vision mission to fruition. So after our commercial break, it will be my delight to introduce you to and reintroduce to others Princess Dr. Maradian Ogulana she's been from Nigeria, she's been from Canada, she's been from Texas, she's in New York a lot of times, but she's coming to us from the UAE. Who else but the princess would be looking at it being 3 o'clock in the morning and she shows up? That is a true life that is making every single day and everywhere a true life's milkshake moment. So let's go to one of our first sponsors, and I want to go to Karen Rudolph of Tranquil Solutions, an empowerment coach. She will be with us in New York. Karen Rudolph has a one-of-a-kind empowerment coaching because she's a one-of-a-kind woman. Also in our Healthopedia, the Foundations book, The Essence of a Woman, a one-of-a-kind coach for your empowerment. Karen Rudolph of Tranquil Solutions. Take a look, take a feel, take a listen.
Working with Karen for me has been invigorating. It has brought new joy and confidence in my abilities and confidence in sharing that with other people.
Karen Rudolph helps people break free from negative thought patterns and self-talk that keep them stuck. By becoming more aware of how we communicate with ourselves and others, we can let go of what holds us back. Much of this negativity stems from past experiences. When we heal those wounds, we can transform our thoughts, feelings, and even our physical health. Our bodies constantly send us signals, and by tuning into them, we can enhance our well-being. It's all about learning to talk to yourself in a kinder way, allowing you to show up more confidently in the world.
It's all about being free, being fearless within our authentic selves. And that's exactly who and what I do for my clients. So if you are interested in having a little bit of that, reach out.
Karen Rudolph, Tranquil Solutions. Being the soul, that is who Princess Maradian is. A real life princess. You can read about it in our book. We put the whole list in there back to the 15th century from Nigeria. Then she immigrates to Canada, goes to school at the University of Arkansas, where she got her passion for humanity. Philanthropist, visionary, UN ambassador from Nigeria, and the list goes on and on. Some people really don't need an introduction, but I decided to play Princess Maradian Okalana feel who she really is in her intro video. Her Royal Highness Princess Dr. Moradun Ogalana. Don't you just move to that music? But this is what I believe she is more than anything. This is a cover of her book, The Achiever's Power. She has power. She truly, truly is a one-of-a-kind woman for this time, right here, right now. Author, philanthropist, visionary, UN ambassador from Nigeria, the absolute global founder of not only one, but two initiatives we're going to hear about. But the reason that we are going to be doing this gala, you got to be in New York and join us in February. But most importantly, now, my friend, it's always a friend of a friend of a friend. I've got to go back to the Les Brown, my coach and the GOAT of all time, introduces me to the Ken Jacobs, who tells me I need to meet Dr. Nefertina Serrano. You get that thread? And now we have the princess to grace our stage because of that beautiful lineage. Welcome, princess, back to life's milkshake moment. But I've got to add to you an ambassador, and who is still standing at 3 a.m. in the morning. Here you are in the Middle East right now, and you came to the show. I bow to you, my dear. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. You've always been so great, such a gracious host. And I wouldn't miss this for anything in the world.
And you know, for those of you that don't know her, this was Dr. Jim Marinakis, my partner and the co-founder of Healthopedia. He said, the essence of a woman is in everything. I just should have said that. That is you. That is you. Your essence shows in everything we're doing. We're going to be talking about it today or this morning. So as always, tell and share a little bit about the princess to Canada to Arkansas. Please share.
Thank you very much. I think when I came to the United States, I always say that, I was born in Nigeria. Went to school in Nigeria and came to the United States, came to the state of Arkansas, as a young, impressionable young woman in the state of Arkansas with all the amazing friends and that are now families, shaped me, into what you see here. Of course, I have to go back to my mother and my grandmother being the very true essence of a woman, and they showed that in everything they did. So it was easy for me to just emulate them.
Yes.
They always say that, I'm a carbon copy of my mother, and my grandmother, is so grounded, and with her, that nobody is ever left behind. So she literally instilled that feeling in that lesson into me, and that's one of the reasons why I'm not surprised that the work that we're doing now, the humanitarian work that we're doing at the UN, and when you look at the team, even for the last 4-5 years, and then going into 2030, is leaving no one behind, and being a voice to the voiceless. And that's one of the things that my grandmother taught me, and I'm just so happy that that is still something that's still carried on. So came to the US, and when I founded the African Women's Health Project International, actually before that, I just like you mentioned, being an entrepreneur, I had clothing store. I was into fashion show.
Oh, well, okay. So we thought, was she in a fashion show? Welcome to Dubai. Woo!
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yes,
I'm already, see, I knew that you were on the show, so I picked long earrings today. See, I'm stressing about my gown for the gala to make sure that it meets your fashionable presence. Okay.
I am sure you have no problem whatsoever with that. Thank you. But like I mentioned, coming into the United States, as a teenager, and then I was at the University of Arkansas at Little Rock. And while I was there, I mean, one of the things that always stands out, and it's because my mother and my grandmother, just the fashionista that they were. So even on campus, I was really showcasing my clothing, and I in my mind that I wanted to show everyone my Africa, the African fashion, the elegance, the queenly elegance, the royal elegance, and so I will wear my clothing to school. I mean, to classes. Can you imagine?
Oh, how do you stand out in front? Everybody else is in jeans, and you come in this. Woo!
Everybody else is in jeans or whatever, or cutouts, and you would never find me with it. So I was always speaking. So I think one of my advisor actually, saw it, caught on to that, and it was like, well, you need to be, do you make these clothing? I mean, or do you? I mean, how do you get this? And I said, when he asked me, he said, well, where do you buy the clothing? I said, well, I make most of them. And he said, you make the clothes? Where did you get your training from? One thing about me, and I think this is one of those gifts, and I know a lot of people do have those gifts also too, whereby you can actually look at something and you can reproduce it just by memory, just by looking at, without even.
You have a photographic memory. You have a photographic.
Yes. And just being able to, there are some times like this when I can see something and, like I feel like I can actually do it, and I will go ahead and do it, and it comes out fine. Well, that's the case of the fashion. That's how I got into the fashion industry, and opened my first clothing store boutique in the mall. Now you have to take into account in the 80s, in the early 80s, in Arkansas at that time, everything was pretty much segregated in the early 80s.
Oh, yeah.
This is Arkansas. This is Arkansas. This is the South, right?
Right.
But one thing and I think that's one of the reasons why God brought me to the area, was the fact that I became a bridge, whereby, because my clothing does not necessarily have any color. Yeah.
Yes.
So when I present it, I'm able to present, whereby when I do the fashion show, the first fashion show I did, and I had everybody of every race in there in the fashion show. They couldn't believe it. And this was an African fashion show.
And you had an Asian woman.
I had an Asian woman. I had white women.
wearing
Mexican.
and you, because it shows, just like your work with the UN and what you do, that this isn't just the African Women's Project Health Inter-, it's any women's health project,
Women's health, yes.
any women health
Yes.
project international. And you see what you did with this being a bridge. It was natural because we all bleed the same.
Exactly. And one thing is, we're so much we have so much in common that we're different, you know.
Yes.
So and really bringing that message across, even when I do the fashion show, and especially when, you know, you have college students, whereby, you know, that, you know, they're very impressionable, and you know, they have pure hearts. They, you know, they, especially, you know, if they come from a home that's, you know, they come from a home, no matter where they come from. Once they come into the campus and they are surrounded by all their peers, they start forming friendships. Yes.
It's new community.
Yeah, so they start forming friendships with people from other races and everything. And so it doesn't become, there's no racial barriers that
beautiful
that goes in there. So that's how it really started. And then before you know it, even the mall actually recruited me to actually put my store in the mall, in the major mall. So I was one of the first women of color to actually have a self-standing, that was you know, that's owned by an individual. You know, of course, you have Macy's, you know, major chain stores, but this was something that's owned by an individual at the University Mall at that time. I was the first. I was the first of a lot of things, because that's because just being
the first. You're always the first. Changing that on your slide from entrepreneur to megapreneur. Now you're the first. Let's go in, because people are going, okay, she went from clothing to, how did you then evolve this African Women's Health Project International to me? And many people are watching. So put your comments for Princess. Make sure you put this date. More than anything, I'm going to put this. Make sure, if you're anywhere on planet Earth, that you come to our gala on February 4th. It's going to be amazing. But how did you conceive being this entrepreneur, young girl, didn't see barrier, you just saw vision. Then you go into, as you said before we came on air, I love this. Everything is happening now is happening for our Creator's purpose.
Yes.
See, you happen now for our Creator's purpose in Arkansas. Then you transition for what you're doing for this Women's Health Project International is just amazing. How did you transition and get this inkling? How did this happen, Princess?
Yes. So for 17 years, I did this. I did bridal shows, a whole lot of different things. But I think there was a turning point, and that was when my grandmother passed away. And it was there that, you know, I saw a really there was a big divide. Access to healthcare for women, and especially specifically for women, you know, even in our community, even in Arkansas at that time, and then even in Nigeria, and even you know, you have a lot of women that are literally forgotten. You have women that's had 5, 6, 7 children. They've never had a pap smear in their life. Can you believe that? I mean, so a lot of these things was happening.
Underserved.
Totally. And some of them, even they don't even give birth in the hospital, in a traditional hospital. I've seen women giving birth to a baby in a marketplace. I mean, you know, and you know, the things that we women do, or that our body is capable of doing, is just, I mean, it's mind blowing. And so I know that. So and I believe that women they need to be protected at all costs. So so I started the African Women's Health Project International because I saw a woman, a mother, you know, of 6 children that was literally dying of breast cancer. So we started that,
My.
and that was because, and then because I have a lot of friends that are already in the medical field. Me, I wasn't in the medical field. I was, my first degree was in journalism. And then
Journalism, clothing. Now she's doing something in healthcare. Is that
in
beautiful?
healthcare. Then before I went to actually do my master's in healthcare policy. But I'm just saying that, one thing I want women to actually have in the mind, no matter, you can always begin again, and
Yes.
you can always transition.
Always.
So do not, bolt down yourself because into one specific area, and it's like, because I've been doing this is what I've been doing, but it's not working. So you always have to, evolve and change.
Yes.
We're like the onions. When you open it, there's so many different layers to it.
Yes.
What have you? And each one is even fresher than the last one. So I say that to say that definitely
stronger. Just I just pause here, because that onion, as you peel those, like, it gets stronger and stronger. If you haven't cried by the time you get to the core onion, you have no tears. But see, you epitomize this going in the flow. This is my quote in our book: immerse yourself in the flow of who you are and how you are becoming. You saw that need, and you knew that you had to become something more. So pick it up where we are from there, please.
Yes, I knew I had to become something more, and that is, I really needed to really look at, from having this this foundation, but there's so much more, so much different layers to it. So we metamorphosize into, of course, empower women and promoting sustainable development, across Africa. The organization is being, we started it in 2003. So this is our 21st year, and we're going into the 22nd year now.
Wow.
And over the years like this, we've gone from just being a healthcare and advocacy organization to now, whereby we're doing a lot of everything that we're doing now is totally in alignment with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Really to be part of the solutions to bring about that change that we want to see by 2030, when we come up with the next Sustainable Development Goals. And
because Princess, to come back to what you're saying, because anyone can be the problem, but if you want to live with your life's milkshake moments, you can hear, ladies and gentlemen. And for those of you that are just turning in, we are speaking with none other, Her Royal Highness Princess Dr. Moradian Ogulana, UN ambassador from Nigeria. And we're going to be talking about us going to the gala in New York City at the UN. Because you asked me, the only thing I knew about the UN was the flags. When I was in college, we just kind of drove by on the Gray Line tour. And now, because you opened your heart to us looking what we did, because you opened your heart when Dr. Nefertina asked you, do you want to be the book? In the book, I didn't know you from anyone. Now I'm just going to be talking Arkansan because of knowing you. And that's how it goes. You just immerse yourself in this flow. You just be a part of this, and the glorious opportunity that you've given us, our Healthopedia authors. And we'll get into that when we come back from our next commercial break. But I want you to take a couple of minutes on how, because there are people out here, they're saying, but I want to do good. I want to do more. You had this idea of helping the underserved. You probably saw this woman along the side of the road that was dying from breast cancer. You may have just said, I've got to be a solution. Anyone can be the problem. If you want to be a solution, you make your own life's milkshake moment. So let's come back to that question we got, because you created that solution, that solution just energetically. Let's do it now. And then we'll go to our commercial break. How did you make that choice? That this is what I'm doing. I'm doing it. I don't care. I'm just doing it no matter what. How did that
Well,
come in?
because one, and it's not even a coincidence that we're even having these conversations around the birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Yes.
And you see some of the things that some of his quotes, of course, he epitomizes quotes that you live by, that's going to that's transcending time. And one of the things is, everybody can do something. You can do,
Yes.
you can do something.
Yes.
And not, it doesn't have to be in a big grand fashion, whatever you. One thing is if your heart is in the right place
Mm.
and you see there's a need, and you
Yes.
make a move to do something, even if it's just a small gesture
It
that you
will.
take,
It will make a difference.
universe multiplies, because what everything that we, for God to even bless us, when you look at, when you have to have something for God, that God is going to need to bless. You have to
Yes.
be holding something in your hand. You have to have filled the bucket, with the oil, so that we have to have bring the bucket, or you have to be doing something. And so if your heart is right and you want to be of help, to any party, then just do it. Do it, and
Just
then you see.
do that one thing. And our next sponsor, this is where we're going to say how you've done it. This is
Mhm.
our next sponsor is Medical Mindshare. Get this, Princess. Michael and Renee Brown, she is in the
Wow.
book. She wrote both chapters, has the largest natural addiction recovery center east of California, west of the Mississippi in Utah. But they created a non for profit with next level recovery housing for those that
Wow.
are getting well and clean and sober. But then they took it to the next level for the underserved. Medical Mindshare, an integrative absolutely health initiative like none other. So wait until you get to meet Renee Brown in
Wow.
New York. That you are two kindred spirits. Take a look, take a listen. Medical Mindshare by Renee and Michael Brown.
From the well-known brands of Next Level Recovery and Sober Living Properties, Michael and Renee Brown present Medical Mindshare. Medical Mindshare has been designed to deliver integrative care and precision medicine throughout the community. Discover a more personalized path to wellness. Some people might ask, why is integrative care up and coming medically? Our answer is that integrative care can be tailored to your specific needs and goals. Integrative care considers mindfulness as a modality and many other alternative therapies amongst traditional medicine. Another feature of Medical Mindshare is enhanced recovery and rapid healing. It's always at the forefront of our mind so that you can experience accelerated healing and a reduction of symptoms. Contact us today to schedule a consultation.
And they also have telehealth visits 385 5000 4083. Underserved, we are just a community unlike any other. So, how did you get from the UN? This is my next question. How did you get from the UN to being an ambassador and actually then being able to have them adopt the AWHPI? And by the way, here we are, because you got to be there with us. Save that date. There's a QR code to get your ticket. Just a few remain. We'll be in the UN at One Millennium Plaza. Great reason to get dressed up, both gentlemen and ladies. So back to AWHPI, how did you get the UN to be a part and to partner with your initiative? I'm sure that was a little bit of work.
Yes, of course. With the work, with our work, with the things that we've been doing for not just yesterday, but for years. I was first introduced to the UN when I was made an ambassador for peace and culture by the UCT Cultural Center out of the UN. They are an organization that's actually partnered with the UN, and they are with ECOSOC consultative status with
Beautiful.
the UN. So so that was 2014, and from that moment, it just really been attending and been doing a lot of programs at the UN. So my work schedule, is really about empowering and really working on the Sustainable Development Goals. And our organization, because we've been working at the UN for the last since 2014, and
Right.
really bringing about programs, and especially doing programs with the First Ladies Forum that started at the UN itself. So when we established the Ambassador for Peace Award, it was established really to recognize and honor individuals and organizations who have made significant contributions to promoting peace, justice, and sustainable developments around the world. So, and this was just actually inspired by the vision, of a peaceful and harmonious world that we want to see.
Yes.
And when we started it, we first looked at it. We said, women actually are we talk about peacemaker. Women
Yes.
are actually the peace messenger, peacemaker. That was what the message when we first started it. And that's
Yes.
why we started it with the First Ladies Forum over at the UN with the ambassadors' wives and whatever, because we know that there's a lot of things that we women can actually take and broker peace, that even men,
we connect.
Yes. And even men, they bow to us just because of the way that we can be able to connect and bring about solutions, to even the most dying problems in the world. So when we created this Ambassador for Peace Award, because our organization, the African Women's Health Project International, has a special consultative status, ECOSOC status with the UN, partnering with the UN.
That collaboration.
Their collaboration is at the center of everything that we do, and collaboration is the new currency that you definitely have to make sure that you use. So one of the ways we're looking at it, that in order for us to be able to contribute to the Sustainable Development Goals, because at every meeting, whether it be the United Nations General Assembly or the Commission on the Status of Women, there's always the need whereby it's like we're not even the goals, we're not reaching the goals like we need to. We're still falling short. And this goal that was set, these 17 Sustainable Development Goals that was set, is supposed to be accomplished by 2030. We're now in 2025, and we still have a lot of work to do. Now, one of the things that our organization, we now came about at the roundtable, is the fact that when you look at the people sitting across from you at the roundtable, everybody individually doing their, they are all leaders. They are all CEO, founders, or whatever. But one thing that we saw that was not apparent, and I'm pretty sure everybody that have organization that's working actively on these Sustainable Development Goals will see that when you look at the body of work that these individuals that sitting across these tables are doing, they're literally amplifying the SDG, whether it's in the no poverty, to zero hunger, to good health and well-being, to education, to gender equality, and so on and so forth. They
Decent
are
work, economy. I just brought them up on the screen because it's a little faint in my graphic. Reduced
yes,
inequalities, industry and innovation, life below water. We need those
life below-
fishies. Zero
yes,
hunger, affordable, clean energy, clean
energy,
water. They say life on land, climate action. Boy, do we need that after seeing what's
yes,
in California.
yes,
Partnerships for goals, responsible consumption, and number one goal is no poverty. I mean,
no problem.
what a beautiful, just just honorable thing. I want to just say this is what Buckminster Fuller talked about when he said to make the world work for 100% of humanity in the shortest possible time through spontaneous cooperation. And if he was still alive, he would say collaboration, as we did, without ecological offense or disadvantage to anyone. This is what you're doing.
And
This,
exactly, this is, you are so on point, because when the quote that you just read, this is what exemplify why we're doing what we're doing.
yes,
Because and to have it being recorded, because what is happening is that each and every one of them, they are doing this, they're already actually doing some of these sustainable development goals, but they're not being recorded. It's not being recorded, it's not being amplified, it's not being it's not connected to the main grid. It's almost like when you have pits and pits of water poles, all different areas, but you are not connected to the grid. So what we want to do with these ambassadors for peace is to actually connect them to the grid, so that the work that they're doing is actually is measured and is recorded. So the ambassador for peace, is to celebrate unsung, we call them unsung heroes and heroines who work tirelessly to promote peace, reconciliation, and conflict resolution in their communities and beyond, in everything that they do. And they work tirelessly, whether we have organized CEOs and founders that are working on the no poverty. We have some that are working on the zero hunger, to make sure, working on the agricultural sector, making sure that, there's zero hunger, making sure, we have people that are in the healthcare field, that are in the good health and well-being, that is SDG Goal 3. Then you have people that are in the education field, that's the SDG Goal 4. Then you have people that are just pure women empowerment. And it's not like we're taking each of these ambassadors, some of them, they have 2 or 3 SDG that they're actually working on simultaneously. So they are being recognized for the work that they are doing, and then they are being given a platform whereby they actually go and actually be at the UN, be at the meeting. Each ambassador for peace will have a pass to go to the UN to attend every important high-level meeting, including the UN General Assembly, including the CSW, the Commission on the Status of Women, the major programs across the UN. But in addition to that, each ambassadors will collaborate with us, with our organization being the sponsoring organization, to actually put together programs. And, there's the reason why the last Sustainable Development Goals is Partnership for the Goals, the collaborative partnership, is because that's the one that ties everything else together.
And the way you tied things together, I think we, talking about the ambassador piece, I am going to highlight, and I'm so honored and humbled that you asked me to be the keynote speaker for this event. I cried my eyelashes off, Princess. I really did when you asked me. I was just so honored and humbled, and I know that with what we're doing, the Times Square billboard for 20 of our authors, then we're going to come and get dressed up and go in this. But I wanted to highlight 2 of them. Obviously, I'm going to put in our Princess, another princess to us. Isn't that Dr. Nefertina? Isn't she a princess, even though she isn't? You're the true princess. But to me, Dr. Nefertina, she earned this in such a way. What she does with being a married CEO, whatever. Big congratulations, Dr. Nefertina Serrano. Truly, the marriage CEO, what she does. So, what would you like to say? A couple of words about our lovely Dr. Nefertina, the reason we are here, about her.
Dr. Nefertina Serrano is a true queen. You know, with all, not only just, having all these different titles that are attached to her name, as being a Woman Achievement Award, Lifetime Achievement Award of queen, being a queen, a crowned queen.
Yes.
But also too, she has a heart of gold. And I think that's one of the things that exemplify her, that really showcases she and her husband, the two of them. And I'm not surprised that they are thriving with the Covenant Rescue 911 Marriage Ministry, because really when you put the perfect couple in the dictionary, their picture should be on there. They should smile.
The beautiful marriage CEO, and put a little bit of, should we put a little bit of that coquito in there by
coquito, and he's the coquito king. I'm telling you, they match each other perfectly. So what can we say? But she truly has a great heart. A heart for humanity, and that's one of the reasons why even we have her as the AWHPR chapter director here in the US. So she's doing a lot of great things, and we're looking for.
I wanted to show this, that she really is a queen. On page 39, what's her picture? She's really a queen, but she is a servant. Every single one of these masterpieces. When I was telling people why should they come to our lovely gala event, it's like the Academy Awards for the UN. The Servant Academy Awards. That's how I explained it. You've just
the servant, and I love the way you coined it, because it's really great. Because one of the things that people even ask about the UN, is okay. So the UN the UN is huge.
Yes,
the UN is huge. Can you imagine, like, countries of the world all inside the UN? So just imagine that. So it's huge any which way you look at it, and that's the reason why each department, specifically for certain things. Now, the UN is made up of three key areas. You have the governmental. Yes, you have the government, which are the presidents of nations and what have you. Then you have the civil society. The civil society are people like us, like you, like our organizations. We are the one that actually do the work. I always say that. I said the government make the policy, the civil society do the work, and then you have the private partnership, the corporation, the big corporation, the big corporation with the money to fund the work that the civil society does. So that the government does also too. So I just say that to say that and they work so beautifully
together. It's a triad. It's a triad.
It's like a triad. And what is so wonderful is that everybody, like organizations like us, we are in consultative status with the ECOSOC. The ECOSOC is the area of the UN that is specifically purposed for economic and social activities.
Yes.
And so the UN is huge any which way you look at it. Right. And so but each of us, every one of us, even the smallest organization, we are all trying to do our part to help to bring about because the UN will tell you that they need each and every one of us, even the smallest The smallest
Many
organization,
hands.
the smallest, yes, many hands coming together, because it's going to take each and every one of us. So what we're doing is our own small part in there to be a part of the solution, because
Solution.
so
You
be
were a
part of the
solution.
solution.
You were
Exactly.
part of the solution when you crossed the bridge and wore those clothes. Let me just tie this in for a minute. You were the solution when you wore those clothes on campus in Arkansas. You were the solution when you were the bridge going to the mall. You were the bridge when you saw that woman dying from breast cancer on the side of the road. Now here you are, part of these, bringing these people together. You're such a connector. And this, I will never, ever, ever forget for the rest of my life, that you made my big bear an ambassador of peace posthumously. He is going to be on the Times Square billboard. He always said that I would make him bigger after he passed than when he was alive. So this is part of this. And for him to get this honor of being a part of what he did to bring this this initiative peacefully in diplomacy, Operation Just Cause with Panama, then going up to Nicaragua, then what he did for the Seminoles that nobody knows about, and what he did for Islamic jihadist terrorist young men, 1,500 of those, Princess Muradian, he brought them, and psychologically with his anthropological just way that he did, he brought them to be peaceful contributors to society. That's what my big bear did during his lifetime, just in and out, helping the Department of Defense. Nobody knew. That's truly an ambassador of peace now, isn't it? Thank you for allowing me to share about my husband. Yes.
It is my honor. That was one thing that even the Holy Spirit, that was one thing that I immediately, especially I didn't even see all these resume, but one thing, just the small encounter I've had, I've never not even met him physically, but I know him, and we were supposed to actually meet physically, but
in April, and didn't happen.
Yes, but I've already heard him. I heard him behind you numerous times. Yes. And just being, and for somebody that is to me, is larger than life, and is yet so humble, and so and of service, has a service heart, a heart for service, to just and I saw the way he loved you. I mean, just a lot of different things that came about there. But then I now read his after it passed, and I read his biography, and I was blown away.
Yes,
it just really solidified, and I know that we needed to honor him, that we were going to honor him, and this is the perfect time for it. Like I told you, nothing happens. Nothing happens by chance. Everything happens for a reason, and the timing too, and everything. So, it is my honor to just even be able to say, yes, I knew this man, and he was just a larger than life. Yes.
And you, speaking of which, larger than life, scan that code, be about us with, and I said, what? Because my message here, and I'm going to come back after, I'm thinking, okay, so who is online to be a part of our third sponsor for this wonderful, and you are all 31 flavors of Baskin Robbins. You are the ice cream. You're the whipped cream. You're the cherry on top with whatever kind of sprinkles. That's what you brought to stage with us here on Life's Milkshake Morning. By the way, you were the first. It's talking about 3 a.m. in the morning, and she's still here because she honors her commitment. Honor us with the Academy Awards of Humanities Ambassador of Peace Awards. I thought, who should we have as our third sponsor? Well, it's going to be My Mushroom Coffee. It's going to be the company. Yes, I helped formulate this coffee because it's none of the spike, none of the crash, because it's healthy coffee. Boy, you need a cup in the morning. You'll need it. So let's take a look, take a listen, get some of your vibe on with Vibra. So you just get your go to drjody.com. Go there, because guess what? You want to be that kind of person that has healthy no matter what. And in the comments there, oh, I've just got to show this Cynthia Hamilton knife. She cannot. This is wonderful. She can't wait to come to She is my roommate. Oh my goodness, yes, that's true. Our koala bear herself. It is going to be a happening. We'll have dignitaries. We'll have everything, but we'll have you, Princess, seeing what again your vision and mission to fruition to the next level. Just let's focus on the 17. When you put 1 and 7 today, that is the number 8. That is motion, and you are truly motion and action. So in our last minute or so, I've got a surprise for you. Of course, I always do. But what would you say for somebody to, if they're saying, I want to start, I want to make a difference, where should they start?
The best place to start is from where you are at.
Yes.
What is it that is right there? Because one of the things I always look at, especially with people when we're talking, most often time we want to start, we want to do, anything you want to start, whether it be you want to start a business, you want to start diet, you want to do this, you start from where you are at, because most often time like this, we're looking for answers on the outside. And yet it's already within us. So you start from where you are at. So look inwards. And I love what Oprah Winfrey, I think on conversations with Dr. Michelle Obama. And so when I was telling somebody, I said, or be ready for change. Do make sure, you can definitely start over again. And you can, yes, be the change. Michelle Obama wrote a book. First Lady Michelle Obama wrote a book called Becoming. Yes. And you look at her, very accomplished. She's a lawyer. She's she's married. She's the first lady of the United States. And yet she wrote a book about becoming. And when she was asked about it, she said she's still becoming.
Yes.
So that means, we don't want to you don't want to bog yourself down to one thing, thinking that you cannot change or you cannot start over again, or if something is not working, that you want to always make yourself like myself anyway. I consider myself like a professional professional student, because I'm always learning.
When to coach and when to be coachable. Just like my quote I had up there before, immerse yourself in the flow of who you are, but how you are becoming. Michelle Obama, after she had done all that for 8 years as First Lady, thought she was still becoming. But when you add who you are, because you talk about everybody else, I want to bring it back to you, my dear, because back to you, you are such a spiritual being in that human experience. We are having an experience and in the UN. Just begin and to weave with us at the UN. Just weave with us. What did that look like? Your threads of your life. What can you do that one thing? Because frankly, that's just who you are. So if one reason, okay, and I'll end with this. I mean, I could talk to you for every day, all the time, but you really do have to get some sleep. It is 3 a.m. in the morning. Where are you exactly?
I'm in Dubai. I just came in from Abu Dhabi.
Okay, so this is what I want you to go from Dubai. I thought you said Dubai. She says, welcome to Dubai. I want you to go like this and fall into that bed, how you did on your commercial. Okay. But to think, so what will you weave? What is the one reason they should be and show up and save that date and be with us at the Ambassador Peace Awards?
One thing I want people to really come to celebrate the achievement of peace builders, and to really come and celebrate, but also too for them to even come and look for ways that they can actually, what it is that they can be able to add to this big pie of solutions that we need to deliver to the United Nations, or that United Nations need, because
Right.
it could take
We
each and every one of us to actually
absolutely.
make it work. And one thing I see, especially at the UN, I see a lot of people from other nations coming into the United Nations, actually, and putting in the work and doing a lot of the work. But I want to be able to promote it a lot within the United States itself. And I think even that's one of the reasons why the United Nations, open up a whole department dedicated to making sure that you have the United Nations headquarters right here in the United States. Although it's a nation by itself, but it's right here in New York. You fly to New York. Although once you cross that street to the United Nations headquarters, you are no
Yes.
longer in the United States. But
No.
this is literally, you actually walk into the United Nations and look for ways that, in whatever it is, programs that you're doing, whether even if it's in conflict resolution, even in meditation, even in mental health, even in feeding the hungry people, whether in agriculture. I mean, there's so much that
All
each and every one of us can come,
can
even without being an
do.
ambassador. So when you come, you are going to be filled with and of course the ambience of the UN one, the millennium is beautiful. So you are going to really get that feeling of being in a diplomatic space.
Yes.
So very elegant. We're going to celebrate. Might even throw in a little fashion show there and there.
Oh, maybe a little Nigerian
Some
dance.
music. We have some music. We have dinner. We have our keynote speaker, Dr. Jody Bear. We have other. We're going to be having some officials from the New York government, as well as the United Nations itself. So
Everybody.
you're going to be mingling with the cream, and this is a place where you can actually you ask questions, you can get answers to your questions. And you say, how do you begin? You can begin right here on the 4th at the
And
United
begin
Nations. We
to
actually have
weave with us. Begin to weave
with us.
with us. And like I
With us.
said, all you've got to do to know where to begin, just be like the princess. She had a vision, mission. Just get her book, Achiever's Power. You can find it at drprincessmaradian.com. But this is who, and how will you do this? Especially ladies, just be that woman who's not just the whispers of her soul, but the elegant grace that echoes through eternity. You are that elegant grace. You echo, and you echo from this day forth through eternity. Thank you, Princess. What a beautiful expose. We could talk about this all day, but if they want to know more, just come with us. Be at the UN at our gala. And I'm going to say now, Princess
And
in the
each of them too, we're going to have them tour the United Nations headquarters. So if they stayed for the till the next day, they can actually have a tour. But our ambassador for peace will actually go into the meetings. So
and frankly, what I'm going to see there, Princess in the P, what you're going to do, you're going to find that little bed and that pillow very soon. But thank you, thank you, thank you. Hang around. I've got one more thing for you. So what I'm going to say, I know we went over, but in each and every day, make sure you make it a healthopedia kind of day. Life is like a milkshake. Choose your ingredients wisely. And when you do, you might be the next Princess Ogallana to make that kind of impact in your world. Just start with you, then go with two, and then you will make it and your world a better you. We'll have no broadcast for life on Mindset Monday because we're inaugurating a new president, but we will be back Thursday with our doctor talk with our doctors. It will be back Thursday. And as we say, and each and every day, make it a healthopedia kind of day. Ciao for now.
Woman up, 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 up.